I often wondered if I wasn't pretty enough for this to happen. At first, everyone thought I was just a normal part of puberty. Mom came into my room today and didn't knock. She froze. I thought she'd noticed something unusual about me, and I think she asked me about it, but Mom just instructed me on the usual things. She thought I was having an adolescent tantrum and didn't take it too seriously. She had no idea that I was on the verge of being consumed by darkness.
First stop of the day. Just you and me, kid.
I'm Melinda. Because of how I look, I instantly became the center of attention. One day, some classmates threw a summer party, and I got invited too. At first, everything seemed fun and harmless. Andy was charming, and I thought maybe he was the one. He said it was too noisy here and invited me to play in the car. The sound of loud music also made me want to pull away, and I agreed, but I had no idea he was actually a predator. When I realized something was wrong and tried to leave, he slammed the door shut. Minutes later, the only sound left in the compartment was my crying, drowned out by the noise outside the car. I stumbled back to the house, numb and broken. No one noticed my abnormality as I scrambled to the phone and dialed the number in an instinctive reaction, but I regretted it when the call came through. I couldn't take ridicule from people, so I went silent and hung up. But the police had already locked onto the location through the signal, and several people ended up getting arrested. Everyone knew it was me who called the police. Even my best friend, Rachel, slapped me across the face and turned against me for good. Overnight, I lost my best friend and couldn't tell the truth. That night, I was walking home. It was 2 a.m. On the night when I needed comfort the most, my friends left, my parents went to bed, and I was left to digest all my emotions alone. After the nightmare spring break, I returned to school with a heart full of dread. Just as I was wondering how I was going to face everyone, a transfer student named Heather ran up to me and said hello. She introduced herself with a smile, clearly hoping I could help her get in with the right crowd. But she picked the wrong person. Thanks to that party, I became public enemy number 1. I was completely isolated. People looked at me like I was some kind of disease. Heather, not knowing anything, joined the bullies just to fit in. She didn't know what I did or didn't do, just didn't want to be the odd one out. She was just thinking that if she didn't bully the deviants, then she would be treated as a deviant. The bullying from my classmates was enough for me. Even the teachers were not polite at all. The slightest backtalk got me a demerit.
That's one demerit. Sorry, do you know? Get to class.
And no one wanted to hear what I had to say. The only place I felt a bit of peace was art class. Mr. Freeman, the art teacher, was open-minded and warm. For kids like me, who didn't speak much, he always tried to dig deeper.
Right, that's good.
He saw something in me, even when I couldn't see it myself. That day, Mr. Freeman asked me to go to the board and draw a tree. I couldn't get interested in anything, so I casually picked up the chalk and made a few cursory lines. He didn't say a word, didn't scold me. I was suddenly relieved. On the school bus after school, the girls gathered to laugh and joke around, while I sat alone in the last row, staring out the window with empty eyes. There were actually several times when I wanted to tell the truth, but I was afraid that people would look at me in a different way. I hid under the covers and imagined this was my safe house. Instead, Mom pushes her way right in. She was so controlling. Even what I wore wasn't up to me. Mom, have you noticed that I haven't worn bright colors in a long time? And Dad, he never cared about me at all. In his eyes, my change was just a minor adolescent emotion. I still didn't wear the red blouse, but it made Mom mad. She said to return it if she didn't like it.
I got it on sale. Don't wear it. It's fine.
Well, Mom, why'd you say they were... I went to my best friend, who used to be my closest friend, to try to explain the misunderstanding of that night. But before we could finish our conversation, the appearance of her new friend interrupted it. Later, I went to Heather, the new girl who had transferred in, but she already had a new circle of friends. I tried to melt in, but I didn't expect Andy to walk by. He invaded my safe territory like it was nothing, laughing and flirting with the other girls. This was daring to be so reckless, because he knew I wouldn't say anything. I broke free of his arm and escaped, trying to ignore their discussion of me, but I heard it all. They called me a freak.
And a life. The girl has problems.
But didn't know where to go. Eventually, I made my way back to the art room. It was the only place in the whole school where I could still catch my breath. Mr. Freeman saw me here alone, but instead of asking me why or lecturing me, he just handed me a piece of paper. He said, "Draw out all your emotions until you come out on your own."
Do something. Anything.
But I can't draw. When I close my eyes, it's just painful memories. Good thing I have Mr. Ferriman to guide me. The days go by, and I'm still sidelined. The next day, Heather dragged me to the gym to watch a game. Everyone was cheering, but I couldn't force a smile. I saw Rachel, my once best friend, smiling so sweetly on Andy's arm. This scene instantly pulled me back to that night. At the summer party, he had looked at me with that same tender look. I let my guard down, thinking it was love. Little did I realize that it was nothing more than a trap. In biology class, I saw the frog on the dissecting table. That posture of being left to die, I was immediately reminded of myself that night. Helpless, weak, unable to resist. Fear came back like a tidal wave, and I fainted.
Hello? Can you count backwards from 10?
But that wasn't even the worst of the day. At lunchtime, Heather approached me and told me I was acting like a freak, not talking to anyone and not smiling. She said she had new friends, and that continuing to hang out with me would only make her out of place too. Losing the last person I had, I clung to my sketches like a life raft. What's even sadder? My parents came after me for my grades. They asked me to get Mr. Neck to change my grades, and after much deliberation, I did. In the face of Mr. Neck's taunts, I didn't care. I cared more about getting my grades up. But Mr. Neck just asked me to write a report. I went to the library and worked all night on my report, and right after I gave it to him, he asked me to present it orally in class. I had no choice but to ask that cheerful boy for help. I thought everything was going to be fine, but in class, Mr. Neck got mad when he saw Petrakis helping me. He forced me to talk. But I couldn't speak at all. Mr. Neck was fed up with my attitude. He pulled me out of the classroom. He called my parents. I was in the principal's office, silent. Surprisingly, my parents didn't blame me, but felt that the school hadn't done its job.
All I know is, last year I had a sweet, loving little girl. What have you folks done to her? Huh?
After it was over, Petrakis comforted me. After that day, I got my act together.
Wow. Melinda, you look pretty.
I got a card from Heather. I didn't care, but when I saw that my best friend had a new friend, I couldn't help but feel sad. Suddenly I realized that my old teacher had changed, and I went back to the art room. Thank God to Mr. Freeman. He pretended it was just about art, but really he was helping me release what I kept locked inside. One day, I was alone, painting in the classroom, and then Andy walked in. He asked me casually about his new girlfriend.
Have you seen Rochelle?
Then Rachel stormed in. She thought I was flirting with her boyfriend. She scolded me, loud and vicious. It wasn't until Andy chased after her, swearing nothing happened, that she calmed down. Watching that monster lie so easily, so I ran into a janitor's closet, buried my screams in a coat, shaking in the dark. After that, it was just me again, alone on the bus, alone in the hallways, alone with memories no one wanted to hear. That night, I dragged my aching body home. The wind on the bridge was sharp and cruel, like it blamed me too. Everyone on the bus was quiet, until I noticed a woman. I felt the urge to talk to her. Somehow, my feet took me to a hospital. I slipped inside one of the rooms and pretended I was just another patient, someone waiting to be healed. It was during those quiet, lonely days that something finally clicked. But just as the nurse was about to check in, I ran away. Then one day, Heather showed up at my door. She complained that her new clique treated her like a maid, and she had tons of things to do, too many to handle, so she thought she could dump them on me. Before I could say anything, she was already criticizing my room, calling it messy, tacky. But this time, I didn't stay quiet. I told her, loud and clear,
No, I don't.
I never liked you.
Why? Because you're a self-centered social climber. I think you should go.
From that day on, I stopped pleasing others. I started choosing myself. I'm full of strength again. I don't care what people see. They pay attention too. Still, whenever I saw Andy with Rachel, something twisted inside me. Part of me wanted him to suffer, to pay for what he did, but another part remembered growing up with Rachel, and it hurt. After much back and forth, I found her in the library. I wrote it down, why I called the cops that night. Her face changed. Shock, disbelief. She dragged me outside, demanding I explain. With every ounce of courage, I said his name out loud, Andy, and she laughed. She called me jealous, crazy, but I saw it.
You need help.
Doubt had already taken root. Later, she confronted him. She said my name right to his face. Andy's face went pale. He slammed the door and took off. That was all the proof Rachel needed. The truth was finally out in the open. At the same time, I was learning how to live again. Comforting a dad who failed a job interview, planting with him, went on a date with that boy who always saw me.
Sure.
And I said goodbye to Mr. Freeman. He was done with the system and ready to chase his own dreams. Before he left, I took him to my secret place. It was filled with my art, trees that started as broken and bare, but ended up alive, growing, strong. His eyes filled with tears. He said he saw me, really living. But just when everything felt right, the monster came back. He thought I was dangerous now, too loud, too brave, so he tried to shut me up, like before. But this time, I didn't back down. I fought back. A window shattered in the struggle. People outside heard. The moment the door opened, they saw my face, and they understood everything. Andy's mask finally fell. They realized they'd all been wrong about me. With the truth out, I stepped out of the shadows. I told my mom everything, and for the first time, I was free.